Hi everyone and welcome to our Chit-Chat podcast, and today we have a very special guest with us, Rev David Boey. CAC pastor and also now in ODB, our daily bread. Reverend David, maybe you can start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, tell us some story about your background.
Oh, my story about my background is simple.
Yeah.
I started worshiping in a Chinese church in Penang, in Cantonese Methodist Church.
Okay.
And after that, when I went to seminary, I was sponsored by the Chinese Annual Conference. And it was when, after my graduation, I was sent to KL Hokkien Chinese Methodist Church for 1 year.
Okay.
And after that, I was transferred to Gereja Methodist Subang Jaya, where I served for 20 years before my retirement.
Wow. So in total, how many years did you serve as a pastor?
I served for 21 years.
Wow, that's very long. Reverend David is a very good friend of mine when I joined CAC 6 years ago, because we are English speaking in a Chinese conference.
We are the minority.
Yeah, we are the minority. Yeah. Now, today's podcast is to talk about ODB, short form for Our Daily Bread. What is your role in Our Daily Bread?
I serve as the church ministry director.
Okay.
In ODB.
And basically, what is the job scope of a church ministry director?
I cover East and West Malaysia, and my main role is actually to share the ministry of ODB to the churches that invites me. But for them to invite me, some of them may not know me. But I have to be proactive. I have to go and ask churches whether to give me a slot to have a book table for Our Daily Bread ministry, or they can even invite me to preach in the church.
Does a little bit of side question, your previous, ministry, pastoral experience and connections, does it help you in this new job?
Definitely it does, because when I was pastoring in Gereja Methodist Subang Jaya, all the time I was just in the church. I don't go out elsewhere. But during my time of ministry, I do get to know quite a number of people. And now, of course, through Chinese Annual Conference connections and through other Methodist churches from the other conferences, I was able to get to know them.
I see.
From that, it helps me to connect with them now.
So you already have like a network that is there that you can fall back on, yeah?
Yes, it's important now. Ever since when I was in the church in GMSJ, I call it in short, I only preach in one church. I don't take any outside engagements because I feel that I have to be committed to the church where I'm being called to.
Yeah.
But now, ever since I serve in ODB, I've been to many, many different denominations, including AG churches too.
For our viewers, AG means Assembly of God.
Yes.
Charismatic churches.
Yeah.
And GMSJ is Gereja Methodist Subang Jaya.
Yes.
otherwise our listeners don't know what is GMSJ.
Oh, sorry about that. We're so used to call ourselves as GMSJ.
Yeah, true. Again, another side question. Like, if you were to compare pastoral ministry with your current job at ODB, how different it is or how similar it is?
I look at it as both are different in many ways.
Okay.
In the church, I minister to my members, the congregation, make sure they're well fed and well shepherded. Whereas in ODB, in Our Daily Bread ministry, I have to go to church to share what the ministry of Our Daily Bread ministry is all about.
Okay. So it's more specific in ODB.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now, why ODB after your retirement from CAC? Why ODB? Because it's a very different organization, right, from the Chinese Annual Conference, and then now in Our Daily Bread. So why did you choose ODB?
That is a very good question to ask. But actually, I did not consider ODB in the first place.
Okay.
Actually, I wanted to be a missionary upon my retirement. I wanted to go to OM because I was formerly serving on board doulos as a missionary on a short-term basis during my earlier years. And then during my pastoral years, I was very involved with OM Malaysia, where I do send my people for yearly mission training, hands-on training, and also not only hands-on, but we do send them to different parts of Asia for outreach. So I'm very much passionate for missions.
I
That's
see.
why.
Okay.
But why I ended up in OD is because, well, I was praying about that. Reverend Tan Ming Pu, the current director of ODB at that point of time, met me in my church. He says, well, you're going to retire end of this year. I said, yeah, it was in February. Why don't you come about ODB? I said, I never crossed my mind. Let me pray about it and think about it.
Okay.
And then my church leader heard about it. Hey, Pastor, what do you think about that? With good consideration.
Yeah.
But after a time of prayer, I feel that God is leading me into this direction, which I never thought of. And that's where I am today still. So I believe it's God's plan for me to be in ODB.
Yeah. Now we talk about ODB or our daily bread. I think a lot of us, if you're a long-time Christian, you would grow up with an ODB booklet.
Yes.
With your Bible. And I think ODB for me, our daily bread devotionals, I think
Yes.
is this one, right? This is like the signature of. I still get this until today. You know, every month, every 3 months, I get one. You know, and I think this has really helped a lot of our Christians to grow or cultivate an interest in reading the Bible. But let's talk a little bit about our daily bread and what does ODB do in Malaysia and also maybe internationally, because it's an international organization, right? So what does ODB do?
Okay, ODB is actually a global organization, and of course, as we said, this is our signature product.
Yeah.
There's our daily bread devotional. Now, not only is it available in print copies, we also have it on soft copy. That's on audio.
Okay.
So you can actually log into it through your handphone. Apart from that, we also have other materials that's available, from discipleship, outreach, to a wide range. In fact, we have Bible study materials, and for those of you who are interested, especially for your like pastors or church leaders, you can go deeper into it. You can go into our Daily Bread University.
Wow. You even have a university.
Yeah, actually the license taught there is very it's worthwhile going to it.
I see. So does it offer like degree or diploma?
It doesn't offer degree, but you can sign it premium, and then from there you can get a certificate of your participation.
Oh wow! So what courses are covered in this ODB University?
It's like what we have in the seminary. They also have hermeneutics, whatever subject we can think about. Bible studies, Old Testament, New Testament, spirituality. The whole range is there for you to choose.
Okay, and this is online or offline?
Online. You can go to Our Daily Bread Christian University, go into Google, and you go into it, and then you can find. You can either do it in English, Chinese, or any other language of your preference.
Yep. Wow, interesting. I mean, it's so interesting to know that ODB now has a university. Now, ODB has a lot of materials and resources for Christians, churches. And one thing that I'm always very impressed is it's always free. It's free, like you all distribute freely. But then the question that I always have is, how does ODB, continue to achieve its goals, its vision, its mission? And how do you continue to be able to print this kind of resources and distribute it to the churches?
Great. Now, though it is free, someone has already paid for it. So every donation we receive from our readers, our donors, and also from churches and well-wishers, all this collected are put into printing the materials and distributed to people who are in need. So every generous donation is much appreciated.
Yep. So it's not, you're not self-funded. You are reliant on the donors.
Yes.
And I think it's a really good testimony or a very good receipt, of your donation.
The print copies. It is a faith ministry. It is a faith ministry.
I think the resources that I receive, sometimes 3 months once, or occasionally in the mail. It's really interesting. I love to open a mail from ODB because it's like opening a Christmas present, and then you get a really interesting book, an interesting devotional, which
You see, every time when you receive our Daily Bread quarterly devotion, there's
Yep.
an offer that's given to you. So
Yes.
whenever you want, just tick yes, and then send it back to us. We'll send it to you, the
Yes.
offer for that month,
yeah,
or for that period.
that's really so generous, and also very interesting way of spreading resources which are very needed in the church. But we talk about ODB. Are there what challenges do you all face, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic?
During the COVID period, we have to take a step back because churches were closed. We cannot visit churches. So, but then God has His beautiful plans. We went online.
Yeah.
So that was a new platform we have to learn and adjust ourselves. And all of us are raw to it, especially
Okay.
for people of my age, something new, I don't want to get into it. So it's a process of learning. There's no end of learning. So even though due to COVID, by the grace of God, ODB still managed to reach out to the people,
Yeah.
like our looking at live series. It's just
Yeah.
actually what the churches will call tracks. And
I
from
see.
that, people look at it to the soft copies, and then they can forward to their friends. And in a
I
way,
see.
it's reaching out to the non-believers.
Yeah, that's right. We talk about COVID-19 as just one of that, the more cliche challenges. But I think there's another challenge, that is the challenge of operating in an influencer social media era,
Yeah.
right? How do you all, navigate through this quite a challenging task, I would say?
Definitely, it's very challenging.
Yeah.
We lack expertise in this area. So that's why we need to pray that God will raise up more people to come to this expertise to work alongside with us,
Yeah.
or even to come in full time with us, and to help us to actually spearhead this ministry to reach out to the generation of today.
Yep. So ODB is still a very largely print, physical, hard copy resource, right?
Not really in that sense, because we have to move with the times.
Okay.
We have on IT, but the majority of our readers at this point of time are elderly readers.
I
So
see.
they are more towards print.
Okay.
But we do have a good range of people who are more IT savvy. For this, and due to that, our digital marketing has to keep on improving and developing to meet the needs of today's
Yep.
readers.
Yeah, that's right. So I presume one day all these hard copies will appear as digitized formats, maybe? Maybe one day?
Already, most
Already?
of them are in the digital format. So you can also log in to have a look at that.
Yeah, all right, that's great. Now, we talk about digital era. How do you all stay relevant? What are some things that you have done? So you talk about not having the people, but also having things online. What are some things that you all have set up and done in order to cope or to continue to be relevant in today's age?
That's why our materials need to be more Malaysianized in that sense. We cannot be using overseas materials all the time.
Yep.
So that's why we have this Spotlight Malaysia, where it deals with local issues, for example, like the white flag, or the flood situation, or during the election. So things that
Yep.
are be able to relate to our people, then you can see. And that for that, we need contributors like you all, who
I
can
see.
write for us, so that the articles can bless the people who are reading it in our country.
Yeah. I was approached by one of your staff at YMI.
Yes, singly.
And I have to give a public apology. I've been so busy, I've forgotten to write articles for you all.
You better write.
But YMI is also parked under ODB, is part of ODB. What is YMI?
YMI is actually YMI, but it's actually YMI, which is actually the youth wing, or it's called that, of
Okay.
ODB. And all the materials are actually geared towards the young adults And of course, we also have the Chinese wing. That's Yami.
Okay.
It's Chinese.
YAMI.
YAMI.
Okay. What does the A stands for? The additional A.
The additional A to translate is Chinese.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a Chinese word.
Yeah.
All right, and it's also it's the same format. Articles.
Different.
And, oh.
Because the Chinese group are actually from Hong Kong.
Okay. All right. I also noticed that ODB has a YouTube page.
Yes.
With some devotional style videos and all this, right? Are they produced locally or by the international group?
Majority of the international are overseas from Grand Rapids, like that. The Discovery series, which is good about the 7 churches of Revelation. You can go
I
there.
see.
It's a very good series and go through. And that's one of them.
Yeah.
And like recently, the local ones that we did was what do you call it? Offhand, I can't remember. But we do it especially for the young families, devotion for
I
preteens.
see.
We
Wow.
started that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, it's on Facebook.
on
also.
Facebook also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you all can go log on to Facebook, YouTube, and you all can have a lot of resources, and it's all free. Right?
Yes,
It's
that's the
all
issue.
free.
You talk about free. One thing other talk about all free, especially on digital platform. People don't give that donation as much as they give for print copies. They thought
Yes.
print, they have to pay for
Yeah.
it. Whereas digital,
It's actually
we need
more
resources.
expensive.
We need
Yeah.
resources, so that's why financial support for those who are using digital platform is very important too. So
Yeah.
young people who are
Working.
using the digital format, your
Your
donation
donation is
much
most
appreciated.
welcome
Yeah.
and appreciated. Yeah, it's good that if you can donate, it will help to further
Yes.
ODB's mission and vision. I think we are coming to the end of this episode. It's been very interesting. But what are some, as we close, maybe you can just share with us how can the church continue to partner with ODB?
How the church can partner. Maybe from your church missions fund yearly, put us into your mission support. We appreciate that very much.
Sure.
And one thing I want to share with you, Pastor, is the latest that's coming out is ODB has just come out with the first Bahasa Malaysia Bible Atlas.
Oh, wow.
It will be out at the 3rd quarter of this year. And now we are offering at a pre-launch offer price of 70 ringgit. And we hope that through this Bible Atlas, we're able to bless the Bahasa Malaysia speaking community in our country, especially the seminaries.
Yep.
And this is the first BM Bible Atlas in our country.
Wow, that would be so interesting, and I would like to get a hold of that.
Why not?
Yeah.
You can also help to even publicize it in your church,
Yep.
or even to sponsor some copies for the seminaries.
Sure. ODB, ODB has got materials for all ages, from children. You have good Christian stories, Bible stories for children, to toddler, to preteens, youth, adults, working adults, and
seniors.
to seniors. So they cover all ages. So thank you so much, Reverend David, for sharing your time, your experience, and sharing with us what ODB is all about. And for all our listeners here, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Do check out ODB. You can go to Google and type Our Daily Bread, and you will be able to get access to all their resources. But thank you for your time, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.